Good afternoon, February the 8th, 2018. Time to wrap it up for today and take a look at tomorrow. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations, unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may be overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, we came into the Emini today wanting our number 2 sell zone was basically the 84 area, 85. And before the day session opened, good trading. And we just start getting lower highs and lower highs. And that's our definition of trending, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. And right here is the first time we have a higher low. We had estimated in this time frame that we would have resistance at 55. I think I said 61, but I can't really remember. So 55 to 60 anyway. And that gave a move, pause, move. Then we come off the bottom and we don't quite make it back up to 50. My guess on the last update about a half hour, 45 minutes ago, was that we had a shot at 2600. So I'm guessing we have support at 25.75 to 2600 for right now. I think the market needs to test that area before we'll get more than bargain hunting buying. And you have to remember that when we have a significant high or low, it's usually 30, I always say 45 days, but the 87 crash, the low came 2 months after that. So we'll make that for 30 to 60 days. I think we're probably headed into a trading range as the market absorbs the being overbought. We've had on the E-mini a correction of 12.2%. And I don't see that anything warrants a bear market call right now, or at least the news we're seeing doesn't warrant that. So we'll see if that actually holds up. You never know. The beautiful thing for us is that we understand the short side of the market and we can play both sides, and we're trading. We don't have to worry about, should I liquidate the portfolio, should I get in, should I get out, so push all my chips in, or what? It's not part of our deal. So, lower high, lower low on F1, find a place to sell it. On F2, definitely a B. We're at the low end of it right now, so we're getting close to maybe our moment of truth. And you can see the attractor down here, the pull is basically that 27, 25, 75, 77 area right down here. Low volume number is at 12. If we get through that, we've got a shot at our 25.78s, 77s. So we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, the news tomorrow is limited wholesale inventories plus 0.2. Baker Hughes rig count. My guess is it's probably higher than what's forecast. We did 1288. I don't know what it's going to be for tomorrow. Nobody that I know of makes those projections in the 946. So given the oil prices, both those could be higher. If the market were to close right here, right now, you can see the 24.29 sell one. We've got the high up there at 45. I think if we got to 30 right here, given the volatility, we could go higher, so we'll make 39.41 sell 2, 39.44. On the buy side, I think we're headed a little bit lower, so we'll make 26 even, 26.05 buy 1, 25.75, 25.80 buy 2. We'll see what happens. And I'm not sure we can break the market right now. It's just everything looks like to me we ought to retest the lows and or go lower. But it's really, really good to have volatility back, tradable volatility back in the Emini. It's been missing for a long time. And all of those of you that held out for better days in the Emini, I think they're back. And I wish we could get rid of that big stripe down the middle. I don't know how to do that. Try it that way. So on the note, lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. It was a bad 30-year auction, and the stock market will play. So right here we are at 29.25, so 31 to 03, sell 1, 7 to 11, pretty much where we were this morning, sell 2. On the buy side, 17 to 21, buy 1. We've made new lows down there, so we'll make, let them get stops beneath that, 9 to 13, buy 2. But once you get the idea of how structure plays and understand how high volume and low volume numbers are support for resistance the first time hit, then you'll become a little more bold in where you place your resting buy orders, and you can start to gain or secure a better trade location. Which ultimately, I never, it took years for me to appreciate when Pete said trade location. That's what it's all about. Better your trade location. He didn't say the better, higher profit. He said the more time you had to deal with a trade. And Pete was never 100% really straight with us. He held himself that. Pete was a position trader, and a good one. And day trading was difficult. He used to laugh. He said it took too much work. But Pete would build big positions over time and would keep adding to his positions as he saw fit. And there were about 3 big trades that made him the multi-millionaire. And they took 6 to 9 months to develop too. So, but he held out as a day trader, and that's how I got started with him with the market profile. Okay, here's the bond. So 4 to 8, number 1. 11 to 15, sell 1. 1923, sell 2. I'm not too optimistic that the bonds are going to turn around. 24, 28, number 1. Buying 21s to 17s, buy 1. And we'll make 5 to 9, buy 2. Open it up a little bit. It's kind of scary looking into all these zeros down here. Market selling. Gold today took a while. Played to our script. Well, you just roll your position, Omar. I mean, every quarter we have to do that. Every month in the other ones is how you do that. Or you buy out. Like Pete came from the grain pits, where you have the 5 months. So you're going to have the big contracts are going to be the July contract, and then the Dece contract. And so coming out of the grain pits like that is just, it's kind of built in. You're long or short. The July, or long or short the December. The July contract is a supply issue. I mean, how big's the crop going to be? So I mean, you'd have November beans, you'd have Dece corn, you'd have Dece wheat, you'd have July wheat, July beans, July corn. So that's where he started out. And on his big gold trade, I think he was buying that for most of that year. He's buying the December contract, if memory serves me correctly. So you don't have to buy the front month. Okay, right now looking at gold, if I can get my pen in the right place. There it is. Okay, lower high, lower low. We thought that we might be headed for the 1312 area for several days. We got down there. You can see we got a low volume number here. If that comes out, the next high volume is 1278, way down there. So the F1 screen says find a place to sell it. And the 25 is a market number. We didn't quite get there. And there was our 1312 that we talked about for several days. So right now, with the market closing here, our number 2 sell this morning was 19 to 21. We'll make 24.26 sell 2. And on the buy side, we'll make 14.16 buy 1 and 10.12 buy 2. Well, he's a floor trader. I mean, Pete's always owned his seats at the Chicago Board of Trade, and he has a agricultural. I've been to his farm in Sacramento, and so that was kind of his background. And the big contracts, the big money trades financials, trades the indexes because of liquidity. And you don't have basically, it's a weather play. That large institutions, nobody likes just strictly the weather play. And the vast sums of money are made and lost on weather reports. So the big money was in the 30-year in the notes on the Chicago Board of Trade. And then the big money on the CME, and then stock index futures. Way back when. But the play in grains is July, and then November, December, depending if it's corn, beans, or wheat. Crude oil. Oh my goodness, where's the break in the market? We said it was 60 yesterday, and that's a possibility right there. So got up to 66, stops below 60 is what we talked about. Remember, we were in a 40 to 50 environment, then a 50 to 55 environment. Resistance at 60, then we blew through 60, so we got resistance at definitely 65, and we're searching for support right now. So I'm guessing it's 55 to 60, and we'll see if that works out because of worldwide economic growth. So lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it, and that will be confirmed by our F2 screen. And again, you just don't have, okay, so right down here, the low volume number is this area right here, say 60 plus or minus, and we've got an attractor right here. The magnet is going to be 60.25, which would make sense. So here we are at 65, so 60, 75, 61, sell 1, 61 and a quarter, 61.50, sell 2. Stops below 50, we still haven't gotten them. I think we will, so we'll make 60 and a quarter, 60.50 buy 1. And then with my idea, stops below 60, 59.75, 60 buy 2. Yeah, you said the joke in Chicago was millionaires were made or broken on the 11 o'clock weather report. I forget what the fellow's name was. And I would see just vast, when I would visit Chicago, I would see vast amounts of money and whipsaws done off those weather reports. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, but you can understand why we get saddled with the characterization of just being gamblers. If you ever watched how the the crowd played in Chicago, the open outcry. Okay, lower high, lower low on the euro. Find a place to sell it. And got a strange profile right here. Inside the congestion area, it leans P. If we look at the entire day, it leans B. If we put a couple of days together, it leans B. So we probably have a seller. We had a 23.15 to 25 was our number 2. 23 even this morning was our sell. So, and we're at 83. So we'll make 23 even. Pick up this area right here. Sell 1. 23 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, this one's tough. I think we're going to have to 50 to 60 buy 1. And the low is 40. We'll go 20 to 30 buy 2. Friday's been a huge week. If the game doesn't get started early on Friday, a lot of people will probably slink to the sidelines and not do too much. They've already done enough, will be the feeling. That does it for this February the 8th. You can see is when things slow down a little bit, our calls get a little bit better. We have extreme volatility to work with. Our calls don't have to be that good. Our setups are going to produce the money for us. So we've got several ways to work the market. You all have a great evening. I will see you bright and early in the AM. I'm out of here.